Not many dishes today. It's been just me this week. So I want to talk about competency, because competency applies anytime you start something brand new. So I get reminded about competency all the time because I keep starting all these new things which I'm not very good at. So for example, I've just started a new part-time job a few weeks ago, and part of that job is reaching out to people via email who are influencers to offer to send them a basket of sample products. Pretty straightforward, right? And my method is I'll create a customized video for that person to send it out to them. But it just seems to take so long, and I just feel like the problem is that I'm expecting good results or great results straight away when I've only just started. And I think you can apply that to pretty much anything. For example, eating the carnivore way. If you've just started, then you don't really have any expertise. You might have some knowledge, but until you actually apply that knowledge practically and you put it to work, you're not going to be very competent. And you may find that to be a very uncomfortable thing, especially if in the rest of your life you're a highly competent person, like you know what you're doing, you've got some mastery over pretty much everything that you're doing in your life except for that. And I think that getting over that competency hump is something that stops a lot of it. Makes some people quit, and for some people it makes them not even begin. Like I did a nutrition consult with somebody a couple of weeks ago, and he was very enthusiastic about getting started. He wanted to start eating the carnivore way. So, he was going to get all the shopping sorted out. We had some recipes in mind. We had sort of some meal plans, and he did the shopping, but he didn't actually start. He didn't start eating the carnivore way because, in his words, he felt that he was going to fail. And it may, well, apart from being a bit sad about it, personally, I thought, well, why is it that he thought that he was going to fail? Like, he's a very competent person. He's got a lot of expertise in his professional life. Speaks publicly, leads teams, and yet changing. He had the support of his wife. He's got all the odds stacked in his favour. But the only thing that he doesn't have is he doesn't have competency yet. He doesn't have sufficient experience to feel that feeling of knowing what you're doing. And I don't think there's any way to avoid that feeling of incompetency. You've just got to stick it out. You've just got to write it out and know that with time and with practice that you'll get better. And you'll feel more competent. And that leads me to my next point, which is not being in a rush and actually being in this moment right now. So, I get this just creating this segment. I'm thinking, well, what's it going to look like when I get to the end? And where I keep coming back to is just like, you've got some notes here, but just turn on the camera and start to talk and be in that moment, like be in this moment right now, talking to you. And then things will start to flow, and they always do. But we want to get to the destination faster, sooner, quicker. And in that process of wanting to get there, we're not actually being in the moment. And I've said this before, the only thing that is real is actually this moment. The future has not arrived. The past is already gone. All you have is right now, this particular moment. So enjoy it, revel in it. Forget about the past, forget about where you're actually going. Just be present in this moment and notice how enjoyable it can be right now. When you're eating your food, something that Lily Kane said when I interviewed her a few weeks ago, she was saying that, talking about her relationship with food and how she's always doing stuff, so she just wants to eat it and get it done. And that's something that she's working on. And I think a lot of people do that. I do the same thing. So the next time you eat food, Try just being in the moment. Notice the textures, notice the flavors, take your time eating it, notice how it's been cooked, notice how it feels as you chew and swallow it. Like, be in that moment. If you're in a rush all the time, all your life becomes is just one series of being in a rush segments, rushing to get to the next thing, rushing to get to Christmas, rushing to get your kids through school, rushing to get to the party. It's just constantly rushing to get to the next thing. There's a lot of societal pressure for us to achieve and get somewhere. I think you can do amazing things in your life if you're just present and be in the moment. I wonder if it's because a lot of people think this is all there is. Like, there's this life, we live, we die, that's it, we're done. I wonder if it's got anything to do with that. I personally don't subscribe to that theory, as many of you know, because in my other woo-woo channel, I mostly interview people who have had near-death experiences. So I'm 100% convinced that when we're dead, when this body is expired, we ourselves are more than that. And we move on to a different conscious experience. But if I believed that this lifetime is finite and that's it, game over at the end, I don't know, I think I'd find that a pretty terrifying prospect, actually. I wouldn't be in a rush to get to the end. I'd be thinking, well, how can I avoid it? How can I delay that? Living in fear as a result. I hope you've all seen the interview that I did with Anita from Ketogenic Woman. That was really good. One of the ideas that I thought Anita explained really well is keeping going versus quitting altogether when you make a decision or you make a choice that wasn't the best one for you. Because, we all make decisions out of being tired or being stressed, being overworked. Sometimes we make decisions to salve those feelings. Maybe we'll have a couple of drinks we were planning not to have any alcohol during the week. Maybe you'll eat a packet of crisps when you had said to yourself that you would never eat processed food and seed oils again. Maybe you just didn't get out of bed when you said to yourself that you were definitely going to go for a walk this morning. I think if you can stop getting down on yourself when that occurs and just say, okay, just start again. Like, just pick up from where you were and start again. Leave that behind you and let's go again, rather than having that turn into a snowball of continuing that behavior onwards. You can just say, okay, that was a blip. Let me just leave that behind and start over again. Because we all make mistakes. We all slip up. Like, this is a good example, right? I said to myself, I'm not going to actually buy any cream. And I did not for a couple of weeks. So this is thickened cream. It is absolutely delicious. Like, this is my kryptonite, this stuff. And so I bought some this morning. Already chowed down on half of it, and I pretty much guaranteed the rest of it is going to be disappeared by the end of the day. So the test was to see whether I could actually have it in the fridge and not consume the whole thing in one day. And I know I said to myself in the last video, be careful what you say when you talk to yourself. But presently, I lack the necessary willpower to stop myself from consuming that whole tub of cream. However, I'm going to give myself a pass on that and not get down on myself, because it could be a packet of crisps. It could be a tub of ice cream. It could be a big serving of pancakes. It could be a couple of pieces of carrot cake from the cafe that's got loads of icing on top. It could be any of those things, which past Rod would have quite happily consumed. So I'm going to give myself a pass on the cream, but I'm going to give myself till the end of the week before I buy any more. Have you got any vices like that? Vices, things that you give yourself a pass on, which do fit within the carnivore way of eating, but they're things that you would prefer that you actually were able to give up. So I currently film this segment on an iPhone 10, in front of my kitchen window. And if it's really, really bright, I put a $10 white translucent shower curtain in front of it. I don't have that today, so sorry if the light is coming in and out. And I really would like to buy a newer iPhone so that I can make these videos better. The front camera on the iPhone 10 only does high def, and it's, you know, it's a pretty old camera now, so it can only deal with light situations and colors, you know, with a pretty mediocre standard. So an iPhone 12 or an iPhone 13 would be great. And now that I've got some paying part-time work, it's tempting to use some of that money to go and buy myself a new phone. But I'm trying to exercise some delayed gratification here and say, no, I'm only going to use the money that I earn from my channel to actually buy that new phone. And it's about $900 or to $1,000 for a refurbished iPhone 13, for example. And this channel was monetized last week, finally. And thank you for everyone who helped make that happen. And I've made a grand total of $13 so far. So it's going to take me a while to get there. Now, I don't want don't anybody send me any donations, anything like that. Thank you. I know that that's what some of you might want to do. I don't know that that's what some people have done before, but that's not the reason why I mention this, is that there's a certain amount of joy and pleasure that comes from delayed gratification. So I'm trying to extract as much joy out of this process of actually waiting until my channel produces the necessary income so that I can buy a brand new phone. And then not brand new, but a newer model phone. And then I can celebrate that win with all of you. That's what I'm going for. I'll leave you with this. Be kind to yourself. You're a human being, and all human beings have failings. We all have faults. We all slip up. Sometimes we get caught in negative emotions that we just need to go to sleep on and wake up and say, tomorrow's a new day. So be kind to yourself, love yourself, and realize that you are human and you have these faults, but you're still worthy. You're still worthy of love anyway. I'll see you next week. Before you go, I think that video there would be a good one for you to watch next. Yep, that's definitely a good one for you. You should check it out. You gonna take a look? See you later.